everybody. I hope you're having a really nice day. Today it is Sunday. I had to remember what day, and I'm sorry if I have the computer on a weird angle. I know it's a funny angle, but I promise you it's fine. Nobody minds, do they? And of course, I'm in my beautiful pink studio today, which is really, really fun. It is a cold day in Melbourne. It is not warm at all. And today we are going to be talking on Sunday Chat. So remember, Sunday Chat is all about just helping everybody. Today we are going to be talking about wholesale. Now, wholesale is one of those things, everybody, that we all want to get into. But today we're going to talk about how you get in wholesale. Are you ready for wholesale? What do you need to do? Can you actually make a profit in wholesale? It's really, really tricky to make a profit. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks along the way, what you need to do. I do have all of my information that I've already written and researched for all of you. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about wholesale. And the thing is, if you start your business straight away and you go straight into wholesale, it can become extremely overwhelming. And before you know it, you've made a big mistake. You haven't got orders out. You don't have things ready. The product's not up to date. So many things. And can I tell you, there are other places, not just Fair. Like, yes, I sell on Fair, but there are lots of other places you can actually sell. So I'm going to go through a couple things now, and anyone that's not on here, of course, they can match up later. And what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to actually give you a figure. So we're going to work out a cost of a product. And I know I have my glasses on, but I can't see without them. They're not as grievous without them, but it really does help me to see. So now there's a few things you need to think of. The most important thing you need to think of is your COGS. Now that means cost of goods. Hello, Joy, darling. Welcome. Good morning. Now, cost of goods are really important. Now, it's more important to understand the cost of goods with wholesale than retail. Now, yes, you need to know for retail, but it's really important. If you don't know that, you'll actually end up losing money, not making money in wholesale. And that's what a lot of people do. So now I always say to people, okay, if you want to sell retail, that's fine, but you need to actually have a look and say, what is your main goal? Do you really want to sell more wholesale, or do you want to sell retail? Now, I'm going to be honest. If I was to make money on retail, I would be broke, because I don't make enough money on retail to stay afloat. I make most of my money on wholesale. And the thing is, if somebody comes to buy retail, they might buy one soap, they might buy, a couple of things worth $50. If you sell on wholesale, it's usually in the hundreds of dollars. So yes, you're making less money, but you're pushing out more bulk amounts of products. So that's how you make your money on wholesale. So for today's episode, we'll talk about Fair, because Fair is a wholesale platform that I use, and a lot of people know what it is, but I will tell you there are a couple of others as well. So there's like B2B Hub, which is a letter B, a letter, and then a number 2, and then B Hub, and you pay a couple $100 a year to go on something like that. But they have a lot of people on there that are going to, buy your things. And it's a way of pushing you out as well. So that's another company you can use. Hi, Soap Chef, darling. How are you? Welcome. So like I said, that's one. There's one called Field Folio. That is another one in Australia. There's so many. Of course, like I said, there is Fair. Trader is no longer around. Trade Fair is, I think it was called... I'm going to say Trade Fair, but I might be wrong. That one's not around anymore. There's a couple I used to use which are gone now. So it's quite a little bit crazy how many there are or they're not around. But Fair has been around in many countries. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're in the US or the UK, you'll do better than AU, because it's fairly new to AU. So now like I said, let's get into a couple of things. Now, when you're organizing your cost of goods, there's a few things that you really need to understand, and a lot of people forget this. So look, I'm going to talk about, let's pretend we're going to sell a body butter, okay? So you need to understand all the ingredients in here, right down to the last tiny bit of mica. Even if that mica only costs 2 cents, you need to write that down. What is your label cost? What's the container for the lid? What's the container for the bottom? The safety warning, what's that going to cost you? Now that is, you're just going to write down everything that it costs to make that. Now, that does not include other things such as, sorry, I'm going to wipe things off. It doesn't include like insurance, what it's going to cost you to make it. So many things involved, and I am going to go through a couple things as well. But it's really important, if you're going to put that in a box, you need to include the box. So it's very important to actually say everything. Hi, Pam. How you going, darling? So it's really important, like I said, to actually clarify absolutely everything you're going to use, including your labels. If you pay shipping for labels, include that in. So if you pay, so let's pretend you're buying a box of 1,000 of these. You need to work that out. Okay, 1,000 plus the shipping, and then divide it by how many, containers you're going to make. So if the carton has 1,000 in it, cost you $100, divide that. So then you're going to figure out your cost. It's really not that hard. It's simple maths doing something like that. Hi, Suzanne, darling. Welcome. So, there's a couple things like that that you need to know. Now, let's talk about this. A lot of people, what they do is they get something like this. I've done it too when I started, and you go, okay, I've added absolutely everything in, and now I know my cost. Well, that's not really your cost, because you have to use electricity, you have insurance, and also you've got to work out an hourly rate, what you want to be paid. So I've done a little tiny calculation for you, but you can look into it a little bit further now. So I've got to look nice and close just so that I get this right, everybody. So say you want to earn $30. Let's pretend you want to earn $30 an hour. You already know your cost of goods, okay? Now you want to divide your cost of, you're doing well, lovely. So now you know what it's going to cost, okay? So say like you want to earn $30 an hour. Now you've got to, if you make in an hour, you can make 56 of these. Divide the the 56 into the $30, and then say it might cost 50 cents for your hourly rate per one. Add that into your cost. So that's just a quick example. The same as it's really hard to work out things like insurance, but you know basically what you're paying a month for insurance. You might say, how many products am I going to make in a month? Am I going to make 100? And divide whatever you're paying into that, because if you don't, then you've got a problem. Another thing that you can do is you can work out all your costs, and this is generally what I do. I times everything by 4, then I add plus 10%. That 10% usually includes, will cover things like insurance and things like that. So that's an easier way to do it rather than trying to work out everything. So I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of an example. Now, what I also did is I worked out an idea of a shower steamer to give you a rough idea of what it would cost to make a shower steamer. So now let me just work this out. So if I'm going to sell a shower steamer, for instance, okay, and you're going to be shocked. I promise you everyone, you're going to be shocked with this. If you're going to sell it for $7.99, which is what I sell my shower steamer for. Now, if you're going to go on something like Fair, well, someone's going to pay you $4, basically half of your $8 or your $7.99. Now, in that, you've got to work out what are your costs in everything else. So, if your costs are going to cost you $3, well, you're not really not going to make any money, are you, on Fair? So I worked out with a shower steamer, I'm only going to make $1.75 out of that $7.99. Because the time you sell on Fair, you take half. Remember, Fair are going to take 25%, 15 to 25% of the money and everything else. So it's really important to work it out. So I worked out that it's going to cost roughly 50 cents for the box. No, 55 cents for the box, 50 cents to make the shower steamer, 2 cents to seal the steamer, and your taxes involved. So I think in the end, cutting it all down, breaking it down even smaller, I worked out the most you're going to make is $1.30 per shower steamer that you're going to sell for $7.99 retail. So that will tell you how much of a little small gap you're only going to make. But you have to remember that you're going to be selling these hopefully in hundreds or thousands of lots. Now, nearly or pretty much, I'd say 99% of my orders have at least 10 shower steamers in them. Pretty much everyone orders lots of things and always orders shower steamers. They're the product on the market at the moment. They're very, is it worth to sell it in a case? So what I do with mine, Soap Chef, is when I sell on Fair for a shower steamer, I put them in cases of 2. So they have to buy 2 at a time. And if you can imagine, a retail shop's not going to buy 2 because the time they have 1 for display and they can't just have 1 to sell. So generally people will buy 10 of that, but you can make people buy them in lots of 10. A lot of people do that. But I just think with today's financial climate, a lot of people only want to buy 1 or 2 to try. Now, with my candles, I also have a candle called a Try Me candle, and it's a little 30-gram candle. I sell a lot of those. A lot of people would just buy a couple of those, and that's like a Try Me size. So, on something like Fair, you can't really just be giving away products because you're not making enough money on wholesale. So if you allow people to actually buy a sample size, so you might have a soap that you're only going to charge $2 for, or, might be $1 even. It might just be cut off the end. Or, you might have like 10 cut-offs on the end together and sell them for a really cheap price. And that can be like a Try Me soap or a Try Me candle or whatever. So it gives them an opportunity to buy them. You're still going to make money because it's just the end of the soap and, you're still going to make a little bit of money selling them. But it just gives people the opportunity to try something without buying the full bar. And I've noticed for me that has been very, very popular. And I actually am in the middle now of, so I'll show you here. So this is one of my soaps. Now I have these are one of my new soaps that I'm going to be bringing out. And I'll also have one that's a 60-gram one. So they can try the little guest soaps if they want, as well as the big one. So before they buy, 100 of these or 10 of those, whatever they're going to buy, they can try a guest one. But I'm still designing the boxes, so it's going to be a bit of time off. But, you don't have to put them in boxes. A lot of people sell soap like this raw because there are a lot of companies that just want it like this and they can make their own label if they want. You can put your label on it, of course, but there are a lot of people that put those in wooden boxes and they want them plastic free and nothing else. So if you're making a natural soap, I would definitely say, try and keep it plastic free. And I try as much plastic free as I can because I've noticed on wholesale that's generally what people want in the beauty industry. So, a lot of things to think about. Yeah, it is smart having like a guest size or, even a melt. You could pour soaps into like the little melt containers. I've done that before for a customer. So, some of the melt containers will hold 12 and maybe you can just pour one of each in. And if your soaps all have different colors, that will define which one it is. So, like I said, I've done that before for a sample box, and that's a really great way for them to push the soap out, a tiny little, ice cube size, and then they know what they're going to be able to buy in future. So that's something to think of. Now, also, I need to talk about something really important, which I did not understand when I started. I thought, my product feels really beautiful. It's a great product. I was happy with it. Let's sell it on Fair. Now, and I didn't really sell that much at all, and I couldn't understand why I wasn't selling it. Now, it's because it was not in a box. I don't think it was presented well. Even though I did my best to make it look beautiful, the bottom line here is people, honestly, they want things in a box or they want it packaged with a beautiful cigar band or something. You need to make sure it's really professional. And when I was looking the other day, like I said, there is a company called B2B Hub, and that's when you actually pay a couple $100 to be on there. and then they will actually show you to 100,000 or whatever they've got on their retailers. But the problem with that one is they say very clearly on it, please do not apply unless your products are professional looking. So if you don't have your products boxed, I would doubt that they would even show that unless it's a natural product and you want it in a raw form. So that's really important, and it's hard because it pushes a lot of small makers out of the market. So, but they do have places like Fair, that Fair will let you sell without all of that on there. So I hope that kind of is just a little bit, of help to sort of show you, there's things that you need to do. And honestly, the minute I started putting my things in a box, I couldn't believe how many hundreds I was selling. A huge, huge difference. From Townsville, hi darling, how are you? Yeah, long time since you've got my live. Yeah, no, and I don't go on live all the time, but it's really important just to try and, show people what I'm up to, and of course try and help people, because that's what it's all about. Now, also, you need to look for suppliers. Now, this is really important. All of us go to big suppliers. So in Australia, there's a place called Aroma. It's it's probably the biggest candle and, package sort of supplier. The thing is, you don't need to go to that big one. There are a lot of really small makers that are much cheaper. And the reason they're cheaper is because they need to be super competitive. So there is one that's coming to the Australian Soaping and Candle Conference, and it's called Craft 360. Now, I had a meeting with them the other day, and, as I said to them, I didn't realize how cheap they actually were. If you buy in a carton, it's like half the price of some of the really big ones. And I was shocked when I seen that. So, the clear jars we all use with the white or the black lid, they have all of that super, super cheap. And that's one thing that, I couldn't believe that. So I couldn't believe how cheap they were. So do look at smaller suppliers, everyone. You can talk to them. You can tell them, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And if you want to buy a massive bulk, I'm sure they will help you and find the best price for you. So that's what I'm saying. Please don't just go and look at the big makers, because we know as small makers, that's what happens to us. We feel like we're pushed out of the market from much bigger people. But, if you go to some of these other smaller suppliers, you will actually get a good deal. You'll be able to talk to them, tell them what you're trying to do, even tell them the level you're up to, same, be honest, say, look, I'm only at the level of buying 100. What do you suggest? They might actually come up with some ideas. If you're in Melbourne, Craft 360 are in Melbourne. But there's so many suppliers around. Do your homework. Google is your best friend, and just keep looking. So, sometimes you may not have even found one. But now let's get on to how you work out the cost if you're not good at maths. I suggest that you go onto a program such as Inventora. Hi, Tammy Suds. How you going, my love? And I know you're in the US, Tammy. I hope you're doing super well, lovely. So now also you can go to a program like Inventora. I've done a video before on Inventora. I will be doing another one, and I will do the screen recording so that you can see what I'm doing on Inventora. Like I said, they're an American company. They were actually candle makers at the start, so they totally get it. You can just plug in all of the costs, what it costs you. So say you get a castor oil and it costs $10, put that in, and in the end, it will work out everything that you're putting in right down to the last gram, and it will tell you exactly what it's costing you to make that product. That's really going to help you with the end of the day, like I said, with the COGS, because you need to understand your cost of goods. That's what a COG is. It just means what it's actually costing you. So don't just say, I've got this body butter, I'm going to sell it for $10 because everyone else is. You can't do that, because somebody might be buying in bulk and then you'll lose money. So you need to be realistic, and you need to ask yourself the cost. How long before I see if it's not good enough, the product's not selling? Honestly, lovely, I will leave a product for about 6 months. If I put this on for 6 months and I don't sell one, I'm like, well, clearly Either there's something wrong, either the packaging isn't good, maybe the product's not good. But to be really honest, if you sell one, it's not the product, because not enough people have tried it. So it's usually going to be the look of your product. It means that you're not on trend. Maybe the name doesn't look good. You'll be amazed when I've changed the name of a soap and it's sold. You may think calling a soap Effie is funny because it's after your auntie, but a lot of people go, Effie, that sounds stupid, and they won't buy it. So this is what I mean. Sometimes thinking of this cool name that's named after a friend, a lot of people don't resonate with that and they won't buy it. So sometimes it is the packaging, it is the name. It might also be your description's not good enough. Or one thing I've done, the moment I've been doing a lot of research on SEO, and a lot of the SEOs are saying people are putting too much information on their website, and people go to that and they go, no, they don't want to read a whole essay. So just do dot points. And I'm in the middle of changing mine to dot points. So for instance, if you're selling a candle, you might write burn time, 15 hours, scent, blueberry, container, stone, if that makes sense. So that way they're not having to read a whole paragraph. It's just dot point. And if they don't want to read the start or the end, the dot points are in the middle, and it's really, really clear what you're selling. And on SEO, if you have dot points, it's much easier for Google to pick up those things on Google. But if you have it in a big essay, it's really hard for Google to go through that, and it's got to sort of, you literally pull it all apart. But a dot point is really simple for Google. So if somebody puts in Google 2-ounce candle or 20-gram candle, that way, and you've got it in a dot point, Google has picked that up and they will send that person to you. And I just didn't realize these things at the start, but these are really important things to think about. Because SEO brings people to you, helps people find you, and so on. So I hope that sounds really, interesting and clever. It is good, Tammy, and these are things as new makers that we don't know, because it takes a long time to understand that, it's very, very important. So anyway, I hope that, these kind of things give a bit of information. I'm sorry if I'm flicking off, but there's lots of messages coming on my phone today. Yeah, it is helpful, isn't it? I've done so much Google research on this, lovely, and it really takes time. So now there's a couple of things that I've written down here that you need to really think about. Number one is your COGS, your cost of goods. So, like I said, understand what your cost of goods are. Try to get those costs down. So if your best seller is a soap, maybe then you need to start buying your oil in bulk. And there is other oils. So if you're in Australia, there is places that sell the oils cheaper. So if you're using olive oil, they might do like a pumice oil, which is basically, after all, the good oil that we usually eat is extracted. They have the pit and the bottom of the rubbish, which is the olive oil, but you can still use that in soap because it's not, we're not eating it. And it's half the price. So you can look at things like that. It's called a second or third grade olive oil. So the first grade is obviously the edible one, and most of us use that because we just buy it from the shop. But literally you can buy 20 plus litres for like $150 in Australia. And the oil would probably cost me about $250 for that. So it's like $100 less. So look into that. And I just found this by Googling. So Google second or third class olive oil. And like I said, it's not one that you would eat, but one that you would use as well. Yeah, you've had to put your prices up. And this is the thing too. The price of oil has skyrocketed. I said this a couple weeks ago. Olive oil in Australia, I was paying $27 for, I think that was like 3 litres. Now that has gone up to $50 for some of them. So it is literally doubled. And I was really surprised. So I actually paid $55 the other week. I think it was 3.5 litres of olive oil, which is outrageous. So you need to look at the second and third class, and that's, that is fine for soap making. And usually they'll say on it, deemed for soap making. So there's a lot of them, but you usually buy in 20 litres or something. So there are some suppliers around that actually do have those. So I think there's one in Springvale in Australia. I'm actually going to buy from them. I seen it the other day. If I can remember where it is, I'll put the link down, but I can't remember the name. I think I took a picture of the website so I didn't forget. But anyway, that's on my list. After the conference, I'll do that because all my money is in the conference at the moment that's coming up in a couple weeks' time. So like I said, the first thing we need to understand is the COGS. The second thing is the price, and the price comes into the COGS because obviously you need to know what it costs to make it, to create your prices. And, with wholesale, you're not going to be making $6 an item. Sometimes you only make $1, but the whole idea is selling in hundreds and hundreds of lots. And then, of course, you make your money. That's how you're making it. You need to ask yourself, can you actually manufacture a huge amount if people are buying them? There's no good saying, oh, well, I have 1,000 soaps, I can make 1,000. But what happens if you can't? Like, do you have the space to make it? Do you have a sanitary environment? Can you make it? Do you have children around where it may be unsafe to store lye? I mean, you have to think of all these things. It's super important. And, do you have all your manufacturing details ready? So I talked about this the other week, and slowly I'm adding these to my Patreon so that people can see that. Oh, you love my hair. Thank you, darling. Yeah, I cut it off. I had enough. So it is short at the back and it's a little bit long so I can flick it, which is, quite good. I just really got sick of long hair. So, and I'm in my 50s and my hair was not growing very good. So, because sadly, I've developed a heart condition. So, my hair was getting just not very good with that. So anyway, I'm fine though. Nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. So like I said, you need to understand the manufacturing. So I'm starting to do some paperwork for everyone else. And in that paperwork, what it's going to say is, how do you manufacture things? So it might be, and look, like I said, most of us, there's just one, like it's just me doing everything. But if I got sick and my husband had to pack orders, there should really be a bit of a guide how he's going to do it. What kind of materials should he pack it with and so on. It's very important. So, yeah, that's okay, Soap Chef. There's nothing I can do about that. And as you know, well, most of you know, in my family, there is blood cancer. So it's just a little less oxygen in my blood. So that's the only reason. But it's fine with some medication. So I'll be fine. And so, like I said, you kind of need to think of lots of different things and all the manufacturing things and what you can actually do in the background. It's really important to understand that. So write yourself a business plan, write how you're going to manufacture it, write how you're going to deliver it to people, what's going to be, in the manufacturing or you're delivering, how you're going to pack your boxes, how many days do you give yourself to get the box out? And when you're doing wholesale, please don't tell them you're going to get it out in one day. That's not realistic. I say 3 days. If an order comes in on a Thursday night, that will not go out till Monday. So this is what I'm saying. Like, you need to be fair to yourself and your customers so they're really aware of how long it will take to get an order out. Another thing is, do you have a catalogue ready? Now, you can make this on Canva. It's really simple. I did put an idea the other day in my Patreon. I actually did, a bit of a mock-up one for everyone and said, this is what you can do. Just copy this. So, you might want to have things like your SKU, and like you might think, well, okay, I'm only a small business, but you can still create a SKU number on that. So a SKU number is, if I'm going to sell this body butter, once again, what it's going to be. So you might decide to write BB 2024 lavender. That may be what it is. Hi, Joy. How you going, darling? So that's the thing. You may want to write something like that. Create your own SKU. You can do that just, on an Excel sheet that's free. You don't, even an exercise book. Write them all in. You don't need to pay for that. It's just something that you can do. So in the catalogue, you would have your image, you would have your SKU, the price, and what it's called, and a one-line description. So don't write a paragraph. No one wants to read that. And if somebody ever says, hey, do you have a catalog? You could easily just email that to them. It's free. You don't have to print it out. So a lot of places now, what they do is they have a catalog on their website, or like I said, you can even have a link to say, please email me if you'd like a catalog. And that way it's free and you can just email them out, the catalog. You can save it on Canva in, PDF and send it out. It's very, very simple to create a catalog. So that's really, really important. I did talk about already, the places that you can go to for wholesale. Like I said, there is Fair, there is B2B. B2B actually costs you money, so you need to do that as well. Oh, hi, Teresa. Yes, you did make it, darling, to my live. Welcome. And, look, there's so many things you can do. It doesn't matter what country you're in. But, think of all the free things. I'm giving you all these ideas that are totally free. If you're going to go onto a company like B2B Hub, I would definitely suggest that you make sure that you've got everything in place before you even sign up, because it costs you a couple $100 a year as the basic plan. There are some wholesale websites that charge you a fee to go on it, and there's nothing wrong with them charging a fee, because remember, they have a lot of things they have to do in the background to make money. So they need to make money somewhere. And usually they will take less commission. So Fair lets you go on for free, but they take more commission. That's how it works. Whereas others might charge you an upfront fee. Look, $200 is a very small investment to see if it's going to work. If it doesn't, well, then you don't do it the next year. That will give you kind of a bit of an idea. So like I said, have your manufacturing processes ready, your delivery processes ready. Make sure you have your COGS and you understand the cost of goods. And that way everything is ready to go for wholesale. That is going to give you a much better chance of succeeding than just trying to fumble your way into it and everything's a bit disastrous. Because the problem is, if you send something out and it doesn't look professional, that person's not going to buy from you again, because they just think, well, I've wasted my money. I bought from them and I can't sell this soap because it doesn't look professional. So that's what I mean. If you make a soap at the start and it's, it doesn't feel great or whatever, don't try and sell it. Sometimes maybe give that away to family or wrap it up for gifts or donate it. There is a lot of homeless charities you can donate to. There is a lot of charities which is violence against women, women refuges where women have to escape. Donate them to those. There is a lot of foster places as well with foster children where you can donate to them, and then that would be given to the foster families to help them. So it's not a waste if you're not going to sell it. And it's fine to give away to somebody like that as long as it's a safe product. But if you don't feel like it's that luxury end that you really want to sell, don't sell it, because it will give you a bad reputation. And if somebody gets something broken, don't argue with them. Just say, no problem, I'll send you out a new one straight away. It makes them trust you and want to order from you again, because they'll say to their friends or their colleagues or their staff, so much better. Yeah, you've thrown things away, Tammy, and I get that, darling. But, if you have someone in your area, Tammy, and it's a safe product, also, and you may not realize this, but if you donate that for free to somebody, somebody working there might actually say, hey, there's this lady that makes soap, go and order from her. She actually donated this to us. It makes you look like a really good person. And obviously you are a good person if you're thinking, how can I donate this? I don't feel like it's up to my luxury level, but you could still donate it and it can still bring you customers. So everything you do can actually bring you customers back. And like I said, it starts creating trust, gets your brand out there. If you're donating it, I would still, even if you wrap it up in a piece of paper and put your stamp on it or put a little note on it with your name, things like that as well. College. Okay, so if you're in college places, they get donations all the time. Yeah, see, go to your local uni, ring them up, just say, hey, or email them. Look, this is what I do. I have these set out. Would you be willing to take them? It's really, really important. Oh, you did rebatch them and take them to homeless shelters. That is so good, Tammy. And Tammy, you should be putting that on your website. I would not be naming anybody, but you could say, you could write a thing on the bottom of your site or your catalogs saying, we rebatch, just say we rebatch things to homeless shelters, we donate. People like to see that you're donating and that you're being really fair. So if you do things like that, it definitely will come back to your business. Like I said, create trust. It will actually create respect for your brand as well. It's super important. Do I use barcodes on my products? Yeah, I do. There are lots of places. There's a place called Barcode Talk, and there's many other ones. And so you actually purchase the barcodes, and you need to make sure that these are universal barcodes. So if you ever sell to the US, the UK, Australia, wherever, it can be used in any country. And that's exactly what I actually do. So on the back of my products, they will have a barcode, and that barcode relates to that. So I own that. Nobody else can buy my barcode. And, it costs roughly about $5 per barcode. And, it depends where you're getting it from. And then basically you just download that image. You just put it on the back of your product. You can either print it out in a sticker or you can get it done. So, but when I get my packaging professionally done, they have the barcode already on the package. So, and people like that. When you're doing wholesale, you can say all my packaging comes with barcodes, and they can just link that barcode into their system. So if you're a store that's scanning, they don't want something without a barcode. It also makes you look professional if you have a barcode on it. So it's really important to actually do all of these things. Oh, that's okay. You're welcome for the information, Susanna, darling. And like I said, it just makes you look more professional. So make sure you have your code, like I said, the barcodes on it, maybe a SKU and information. And don't be scared to leave some of your packaging having a blank side or whatever. Also make sure the images you're using, that you have the right to use those. Most of them on Canva cannot be used on a commercial setting. You can use them when you're handing out a brochure and things like that, or on your website, but they can't be used on a commercial packaging without paying for a license. And that can even be the font. So you need to find free fonts, or you need to pay for the font. There are plenty places if you Google them. And for me, all of my images, I own the rights because my daughter has actually designed them. So even this is one of my, the girl that's on that, she's my main image. And my daughter designed that for me. She actually drew the whole thing for me. And the girl has earrings that have hearts on them and so on. And all of my images have a heart in them. So even leaves will be in the shape of hearts and so on. So even the picture of my watermelon, the pips are in shapes of hearts. So that's what I mean. You can create something like that, but it is really important to make sure you own the rights. And when I first started, I actually got a packaging printed, and I thought I could use it because I thought, well, I've got a pro account on Canva. I can use it. And then when I read the fine print, I thought, wow, I can't. So I literally had to dispose of $2,000 of packaging that I could not use. So, that was a big mistake of mine to learn, and it was a really hard mistake to learn. So, very important, everyone. And you think that you won't be sued, but you may be shocked. Because, a lot of people look for these things. It may, even if you use a rainbow that's on Canva and you think, well, it's just a rainbow. Well, somebody's designed that. That is their intellectual property, so you actually can't use it. So you can actually, there are places too that, so if you're on Canva, if you click on the image, it will say who designed it. You could contact them if you want to use it and ask them, do they sell the rights to that? So, you'll have to go down a bit of a legal avenue with that. I won't give advice on that because I'm not a lawyer or a trademark expert, but from everything I've read, if you read the very fine print on Canva, that's what it actually does say. And the same as if you go on Canva, you will not see Disney images, you will not see Shrek, you will not see anything like that because they're copyrighted and Canva don't want to get in trouble. So that's why they don't have them on there. So even if you're an artist and you redraw Shrek, Well, it's really still a character that already has international and intellectual property. So you can't even redraw that because that character is a known character to make money. So don't redraw a cartoon. You have to start with your own product. And that's where we went down the road with me and my daughter. She had to redraw everything. Even a bumblebee that sits on the flowers on some of my new designs, she had to draw the bee. And it takes a lot of time. And I do know my daughter has done a lot of work for some people in the US. There's quite a few companies that she's actually drawn for. So if you need help, just let me know and she can help draw it. She's much cheaper than anyone else. And she just gives you all the files and then you own the rights to them. And then you can trademark them as you like. But, or you can even, go and look for somebody else. If you know someone's a graphic artist, maybe you can employ them to draw something for you. But like I said, if you're going to do a tin soldier or, I don't know, clown or something on your products, you need someone to draw that so that you own the rights. Anyway, we've talked about that, so I won't kind of go in that much more. So I hope, like I said, today gives you a bit of insight on how you can actually start wholesale. And once you've got all these things in place, then contact Fair. There is a direct link on my website for Fair. If you use that, then of course I get a bit of a kickback. I think it's like $50 or something if you join through that. And you really want to join through somebody's direct link. You'll get in faster. Lots of people will have got videos saying that when they've used a direct link. I think it was Memory Candle Co. said that the other day, that when she used a direct link, she was straight in. When she did it herself without that link, it took her quite some time to get in. So yeah, definitely use a direct link to get into Fair. And sometimes they will say no because it's too many people in that area and you have to go back for more. Oh, you're welcome, Joy, darling. I hope it is good advice. And, look, invest in your business, friends. I know it's hard because we always think, where can we put that extra dollar? But you need to invest. And, that's the thing. Even with a conference like my own, it's super duper important to go to a conference. You can go online, you can go in person, and you'll get some great deals. So at the moment for my conference, like I said, you buy your normal ticket. We have a company called Craft 360. They are literally giving every ticket holder a $40 voucher to use on supplies. You can just buy supplies from them. They give you a $40 voucher. Somebody's going to win a $150 voucher and somebody will win a $50 voucher. So literally just being a ticket holder, you're going to get this from them. I mean, that is an absolute bargain. So, and that's what I mean. They're giving away also a whole massive bag of bottles, containers, jars. So anyone coming is going to get all these things to take home. It's super important. And anybody coming to the conference this year in person, and there is only 9 days to get your ticket, you can actually bring along a soap product or bring along a candle product, and we're going to be giving away a KitchenAid stick blender to the winner of each of those. So, that's what I mean. Whatever conference you want to go to, please join one. I mean, my conference is only $33 online this year for US or 49 Australian dollars. So it's an absolute bargain. And like I said, you're going to learn so many things, and these are where you'll learn things, friends. You really do learn so many things from these things, and you get lots of freebies given away. I know lots of you have probably seen them before, where you get all these freebies and you get discount codes and things like that. So make sure that you go along to these places, honestly. So like I was working out the other day that with the Craft 360, what they give away, that, their voucher and whatever, you're actually literally paying nothing. I mean, it's such a bargain, anyway. And if you're coming in person, of course, you get, your meals and, and you're going to meet people like Marie from Humblebee and Me. She has 250,000 followers. Where else are you going to meet someone like that in person? So, and if you're online and you want to ask Marie a question or Jazz, or long story short, Craft 360, if you want any questions, please send me an email, put it in my Insta, go onto my Insta and just put it in there. You can send me a private message and I'll make sure we refer that to them as well. It is a great price, Be Youthful. It is 100% such a bargain price, and this year we have sold massive amounts of online tickets. So it's just crazy, crazy, crazy. But, you know, like I said, this is only our 3rd year running, and that's why it's cheaper. And next year we will be moving the conference to Queensland. We'll be in Brisbane in South Bank at Regis Hotel. And the tickets are $100 off for next year on our site now. And then after we do the early bird, there'll be no more cheap deals at all. We will not be doing that again. And next year, anybody coming along will actually get a $100 bag. It will be a conference bag. So it will be a great travel bag. You'll be getting that along with your ticket. So you'll be getting that for nothing, as well as lots of things from suppliers. So absolutely worth going to a conference if you're serious about your business and you're serious about learning. Please don't think twice. Go to a conference, whether it's mine or someone else's. It's really important. And when I was in design, I went to many conferences, and those conferences were $1,000 a ticket. Some were $600 a ticket, but generally around $1,000 is normal. And it's super important to go to these things and ask, if there's something like, a conference, ask them, will they be interested in collaborating with you? We collaborate in our conference with many different suppliers. That's why we have suppliers on board. Ask them, where do you go and sign up? So you just need to go over to the Australian Soaping and Candle Conference website. You can sign up and get your ticket. I will link it in the bottom here as well. But like I said, if you just Google, it's called Australian Soaping and Candle Conference.com. And you buy the ticket on there. It's a secure ticket. It runs through a ticket app. So you must go through the app to get, it's really easy. It's just one click and then you buy a ticket and you're done. And you will see images of all of the speakers on there. Of course, next year we don't have the speakers listed yet because we're always working with them. But, places like conferences like us, we actually have people that pay us to be in the book. They will pay to have their logo or printed on bags and products. And that's how you can actually get your branding out there. So if you want your branding out there, you may say, hey, I want to take out a small ad in that book. And then all year your ad is going to be on the website. And we have links for all different companies that are supporting the conference. And that's what I mean. That's how I got my name out with many different places. I actually started collaborating. If you can't afford to invest in something like that, go on YouTube, any of that. Ask people whether they'd be interested in collaborating with you. Maybe they will send you a free, pot of butter so that you can make a soap, and maybe you can collaborate that way. Sometimes, I've done many videos that I've been paid for with companies such as Inventora. Cricut paid me as well, or bought me many products. All Tools, which I did a tool melter. Mumbin, I did one with those as well. And that's what I mean. As a YouTube channel, a lot of these places will actually, businesses will send you these things for free in collaboration. There's sometimes that I say no to collaborations because I don't feel that they're valuable enough to people watching. But, it just put the word out there. You never know. You just never know. So anyway, hopefully those things are all going to help, and that helps your business as well in the end. And, even this, these things here I made with the Munban machine. So, and the machine and the stickers were given to me for free. So, like I said, that's something you can do. But if you want to invest and you're really serious about your business, as I said, honestly, go to a conference. I've been to many in my life before I even had my own, but I set my own up to be a super bargain one so that anyone could afford to come. And $35 is not a lot of money to invest in a conference. Hi, Julie. We're almost at the end, sweet pea, but you can watch me back, my love. We were just talking about wholesale and conferences and the best way to invest your money. And I know that you're probably thinking, oh, she's keep talking about this conference, but I really do want to help everyone. And honestly, it's going to help you. So this year, we are going to be having also Jazz from Black Sunflower. She's going to talk all about how she did it. I mean, this woman started and was selling 300,000 a year. I mean, you know, and that's US, you know, money we're talking. I mean, that is huge amounts of money to be able to sell. She's very clever. And at conferences, you're going to get people to tell you how they did this, how they got there, the steps they did to really see, you know, success in the end. Because sitting at home and trying to do it yourself sometimes is really hard. And I think the reason I've been successful is because I have been to conferences in the past. So I already had a bit of an idea how to do this. Super important. Oh, you've hit the like button. Thank you, my love. You're an absolute gem. So if anyone else wants to, I never say this, but make sure you give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can see all these gorgeous videos coming up, and you'll be able to... Oh, and also, I've got something to tell you too. Next year, for when we're in Queensland for the conference, at this conference, you must be a ticket holder to be able to get this. We are going to be giving away a 2-day holiday to Queensland to the conference. It will include your accommodation. It will also include 2 tickets with your meals included. So we are going to be giving that away, but you must be a ticket holder to be in the draw to be able to win that for 2025. So if you're in a ticket, if you have a ticket this year, whether it's online or not, you will be entitled to get that. And hopefully that kind of helps everybody as well. So I hope that we'll see you at the conference. As I did say, just go over to the website, the Australian Soaping and Candle Conference.com, and you'll be able to buy your ticket on there, and you'll be able to have a look and see the agenda, see all the speakers we have. We also have a label company. That company will tell you how you get labels done, how you start, what you need to do. You can even design it on Canva if you're not a guru on lots of other platforms, and send it to them and they will help you fix it to get things printed. So anyway, like I said, I really hope this does help. I honestly hope it helps. Yeah, Jan, next year is so exciting, my love. I'm really excited, and we have some really big companies that have contacted us in Australia from around the world, and we are very excited. And in 2025, I'm sure we'll have more countries. This year, we have 14 countries logging in live. We have a lot of countries online. And if you buy the online ticket this year, you'll also get a link to watch it later. So if you can't watch it, or you're working, or something happens, or the kiddies are being annoying, you'll be able to watch it at a later date. So you'll be able to just, you know, watch it back as many times as you want. You will get a private link. It won't be on YouTube. Oh, you just bought your ticket, darling. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet of you. And I hope it helps. You will also get a book. So 10 days before the conference is happening, you'll actually get an email. There'll be all your login details for people online. You'll get all of that. You'll also get an ebook in it, and they'll have discount codes in the ebook. You know, for any company that gives us a discount code. If they're not in there, then you will actually, we'll tell you on the conference anyway. We'll give you different links, and my husband will put that in to the chat. There's a live chat. My husband's an engineer. He runs the live chat. So all of the people on live will be able to talk to each other, and you'll be able to ask questions and everything, which is very exciting. Oh, you bought yours too. You wish you were in person. Yeah, I know, but you'll still get a lot online, I promise. You know, and please take what you can from that conference. Talk to people in the, you know, even in the chats. Talk to people and ask them questions. People may be able to give you help in those chats. But we will be giving away a lot of information, and I know a lot of places don't give away information, and it's because they've had to work so hard to get it. But a conference, that's what we're about. We actually tell you how to get this information. So like I said, you know, it's going to be really exciting, and there's only 9 days left before the ticket sales close. There'll be no more sales after that. We won't be able to do it because obviously then we're super busy getting everything organized. And I think in person, I think we have only 28 tickets left. So they're nearly sold out anyway. And already for 2025, there's been many tickets bought. So yeah, crazy. And in 2025, it will be May the 17th and 18th. So it's $380 early bird at the moment for that. Or it will be $480 after the early bird finishes, and that will finish in a couple of weeks' time, and then it will be the $480, and that's for 2 days in Queensland. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my chat. I know I've taken up enough of your time, and I will see all of you at the conference maybe, but I may try and do a live. I will see next week because I'm going to be out in Port Fairy at a huge music festival with my products. So if you're out in Port Fairy, come and say hi to me. I will be there at my daughter's stall that will be bright pink, be a double stall, so you won't be able to miss me. I will be doing that stall because my daughter is due to have a baby the day of that event. So I'm running her big stall for her over there. So come and get some fun stuff from me and from her. Oh, Julie, you're amazing, darling. You're such a sweetheart. Thank you. I really appreciate the love, everyone. I really do. All right, I'll get going, my friends. I'll see you next time. Have an amazing day. Bye.